The CSA One Day Cup pre-match press conference. We are joined first up by the Western Province captain, Khalid. We'll start with the team on the floor. And for those online, if you have a question, please drop us a message on the chat box or just raise your hand. That's it.
Well,
coach that he's not fit. He just went for operation yesterday, so he's not available.
You guys will obviously be playing well, but how much of a blow is it to not have George considering what he has of particularly the back?
I mean, obviously it is a bit of a blow. He's been one of our best players over the last couple of seasons, but we won our first 2 games without him, I think. First 1 game without him. And yeah, we had a whole preseason without him. We were unbeaten. So it's not really foreign territory for us. We've prepared for him not to be here. Yeah, we've got all our bases covered. Carl Simmons is obviously a unbelievable player. So to have him in our side and be able to call on him with George missing is a massive positive for us. Yeah, we'll miss George, but I don't think it hinders us in any way at all.
And just in terms of your campaign, it's obviously players of like the cricket unbeaten. Keys being, or would you say the keys being that different people at different times have performed? There hasn't been one person putting it there.
Yeah, I think in any competition, if you're going to rely on 1 or 2 guys, I think at some point you're going to come short. One thing that our team has been really good at is sort of sharing the load. We've had a couple of our young guys, Abdullah against the Dolphins with a match-winning knock, Valley also with a 50-odd day in that game, which are 2 innings that got us over the line in that game. And then, yeah, the sort of more senior guys have also contributed throughout the tournament. So, yeah, it's definitely something that we've done well over this competition. I think we've got a nice group of guys that have all been contributing so far. And I think it's definitely the reason we've been able to be as consistent as we have been.
Just the last one. The One Day Cup final of Newlands used to be an annual event, but it hasn't been here. Just how important is it to firstly have a One Day Cup final with Newlands, and what does it mean for province should you guys get over the line on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, something that we've spoken about quite a bit is not shying away from the occasion. For me, it's massive. It's something that I've dreamt of since I was a little boy. I haven't had this opportunity yet. So for me, I'm really excited. And I think for the rest of the team, it's something that we've all looked forward to for such a long period of time. So to get the home final and have the opportunity to hopefully win the trophy in front of our home crowd is something that's really special.
Can you give me some insight into your captaincy and you aim to stay motivated consistently about this one?
I think I said it before, captaining on the field is so easy. You look at the scoreboard and it tells you what you need to do. Fortunately, we've got a really good bunch of guys that are really well skilled. So whatever the situation is, you just look at the scoreboard and the game sort of tells you what to do. So I don't do too much on the field, but a big emphasis of mine is just making sure that off the field there's good relationships with the guys. I think when you have a successful campaign and you're trying to win competitions, I think one of the most important things is making sure that your whole squad is in a good place mentally and everyone sort of knows where they fit in. So that's just something that I've tried to put a lot of emphasis on this year.
And there's a lot of pressure on captains always to perform that when that happens for yourself. How do you keep the team still motivated and geared up to?
For me, it's quite easy. It's 2 separate roles. Captaining is a skill on its own, and then you've got batting and keeping. So, yeah, I mean, if I don't score runs, I've still got to catch the ball behind the stumps. If I don't score runs, I've still got to make decisions out there. So, yeah, for me, it's quite easy. It's just 3 different skills that I've got to take care of individually.
Is there a specific style of input that you guys feel that you're playing with, or do you feel that it's just based on good situations and then perform the best that you can?
The only sort of template that we have is just to enjoy ourselves and have fun. Something that I spoke about at the start of the season. Obviously, the cricket is important, but for me, if we're enjoying ourselves, having fun and sort of making the most of that we have out there, then I feel like we're a good enough team to get results, and that's what we've been doing. No real template, no particular style of play. We're just trying to enjoy ourselves and have fun at the moment.
And you once upon a time, you were a youngster in the team around a lot of seniors. Now there are quite a few younger guys in the team. Can you talk to me a little bit about what they brought to this team compared to us?
A lot of fun, a lot of banter off the field. just a lot of excitement, a lot of opportunities to share knowledge that we have, and also a lot of opportunities for some of us that have been around a bit longer to learn new things about where the game is sort of at a younger level. So yeah, it's just been really exciting. I think anytime younger guys come into the team, they can sometimes feel a little bit excluded for the first part. But I think one thing that we've done really well is making sure that they've been a part of everything. Yeah, and I think for the most part, it's just been such a fun experience for me, and I think the rest of the guys to have a group of young guys that are willing to learn and sort of willing to give their all for the team.
Carl, is another final smaller one being played at 9:00 on Saturday night.
Who's playing?
Not sure. It's a short game of weekend.
No. Honestly, wish the Springboks all the best of luck, but I don't really care about that game at the moment.
Thank you, guys. We'll move to the team online. Ken?
Thank you. How's it, Carl? Congratulations for getting into the final. I'm just thinking, as captain, you must be really thrilled to have Nandre and Buren with the new ball bowling so well. Plus, you've now thrown Dane Patterson into the mix as well. Just how nice is it for you as captain, knowing that the pace bowling sector, Mtlali Pongwana has also done really well. You must be really pleased with how the pace bowling is looking.
About 2 or 3 seasons now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's nice to have them all fit and all sort of bowling nicely. Like I said, I think at the moment it's making my job quite easy. You just sort of look at the scoreboard, and whatever the situation needs, you can sort of, I don't know, call on any of those guys. They're all really good bowlers and are, yeah, sort of capable of taking on any challenge. So yeah, it makes my life quite easy, and I'm pretty grateful that they're around.
Thanks, Ken. Johan?
Hi, Kyle. I missed it at the beginning. Who did you say was out for operation at the start of the interview?
George Linder.
Okay, what operation is that?
That is a very good question. I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing, last weekend, the Knights, they were unbeaten and they lost the final. You guys are unbeaten. You'll be on a lookout not to do the same.
Sorry, can you just repeat the last part there?
Well, Division 2, the Knights last weekend, they were unbeaten before. They won 7 matches and they lost the final. Will you guys be cautious not to do?
Well, I mean, we want to win the next game as well, so yes.
All right. Any more questions on the floor?
Were you famous game?
Yeah, quite comfortable. Unbeaten, so yes, we are.
Any expect
No, not at all.
lessons learned from last week?
I did not play, so I can't give you an answer.
One last round online. Ken?
Thank you. Carl, you mentioned George Linder's absence. I mean, obviously he's a quality spin bowler. Kyle Simmons is as well. But just in terms of George, the all-rounder, that number 6 spot, couple of half centuries, strike rate of 130 with the bat. How are you going to replace that? Because that's obviously such a key part of your batting tactics.
Well, Carl Simmons hasn't been out in this competition yet and has a strike rate of 220. So I think we've got our bases covered there, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's it with Carl Buren. Western Province coach Salih Nagadin is up next. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Coach. We will start with the team on the block.
And you can make the last on the cup all day of you feel that you're in a better position this year to fulfill the prophecy?
Yeah, I think so. This is where we left off last season. Besides the hiccups here and there, I think the way we started the pre-season and the momentum that we built throughout the campaign obviously says a lot in terms of our the way we want to play. And I think we've got a good squad to at least win a trophy. Like I said that night, I'm going to put my head on the block. And as a coach, there's obviously trophies that the board wants to win, or you as a coach, you got performance clauses there. But yeah, I think we're in a good position, not thinking too far yet, but take it as campaign by campaign.
Coach, we've seen across the railway line in terms of the rugby side that the team has kind of taken away the problems of what's happening, on the ground. It seems like the cricket's in a similar place. You guys feel that extra pressure that you need to do well for a union like Western Province and Newlands to keep going?
Not really in that regard. We said we need to focus on what we can control, and that's on the field, our preparation, and obviously the execution of it. I think what happens, with our peripheral stuff that happens besides our game, it's important that we obviously not focus too much on that. What we can do is to control this space, our space, and make sure that we, do something special and create something special for Western Province again, to get something back to the union.
And just lastly, Carl said he wasn't there last year, but you were there. What lessons do you take from last season's final after the winners that didn't really go well?
I think maybe we can say we maybe were just happy to be in the final. I think nobody really expected that, that we're going to be in that final. We had a few hiccups during that campaign, and the must win against the Rocks last season at Boland Park. I think we shoot ourselves in the foot there as well in terms of chasing. We were obviously chasing 300 at the Wanderers was gettable. But yeah, we lost a couple of quick wickets in that hunt for that 300, and we were short. But at the end of the day, is that most of those guys, or some of those guys, never played in a final before. And I think to play in another consecutive final will be massive for them to get over the line.
Coach, obviously the format of this year's domestic changed a lot. Was that when the one got first? But how much did that change your preparations going into this?
No, not really. I think normally in the past we started with 4-day cricket. In the last couple of years it was 20-20 cricket. But way back in the franchise era, it's normally like 4-day cricket. But I think our prep were good in Oudtshoorn with the Warriors and the Rocks there. And just the way the guys went about, our prep work and the games that we played, creating good habits, make sure that you understand what is required, specifically for that couple of games that we're going to have before our first game. That was fantastic, and that we took into our one-day campaign as well.
I've talked about the one-day game. Is there anything that you can maybe add to that about the one-day game, the importance of it, or how you did that represent?
I think if you look at it, just the tempo, the moment, I'm talking about the tempo, the way we're playing at the moment, the type of cricket we're playing. We average about eight runs and over in one day, in the one day format with a bat. And that shows you the skill factors that we have and the power eaters that we have and the way we're playing the game at the moment. I think that's the way the DOC, wants the national team also to play as well. So for us to obviously get into that sort of spaces when the guys leaving this space of Western Province and they're going higher up, they're in that sort of mindset already in terms of what is required from national level.
And when it comes to BMT, obviously this is now a final. Expect you're playing a big place to step up. is there a way of coaching that type of big match temperament, or is it more just a conversation that you guys have constantly as a whole?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day I always compliment the way they do their prep work. I think there mustn't be any, doubt in their mind when they overstep the rope there on Saturday. They've done the hard yards in the campaign. They've done their work during, during practices, and they just got to back their preparation. It's all obviously up to them in terms of, handle the pressure and taking and winning the good moments or the best moments in the game, to make sure that you're on the positive side of at the end of the game.
It's funny for me. I want to know a bit more from you because of planning for to bring youngsters into the team. How scouting works from your perspective, because we found there's obviously a young boy that's playing really well at the moment in this team. Kind of bled a lot of youngsters into this team now last 2 seasons. So, what is your method of scouting you gathered and finding perfect?
Yeah, I'm always being in the system for quite a long time. You're looking for longevity for back in the days for the Cobras and now for Western Province, is that your identification needs to be spot on in terms of your pipeline and the people that work in your pipeline, how they, what they see, and obviously your eyes and ears in terms of is coming through to your under 17, under 18 ranks, and then obviously into the academy and Colts, but also from a youngster's exposure point of view. I'm very keen on that, so that they can, if you look at the last 2 years, there was a lot of youngsters being in the system. And from my first year starting here, it was always not easy, but you can see the growth in terms of where they're now, and we're still phasing in youngsters to make sure that we can see that these players can go quite a long way for Western Province going forward.
Coach, just on that, you obviously made one go here, and you might come back to Newlands on Saturday and possibly hurt you. Do you have any plans for that?
Well, yeah, it happens.
No,
No, he wasn't let go, but like I said, it's one of those things where you can't keep everyone, to be honest. And yeah, I think he's a quality youngster, and I'm very sort of happy for him the way he played for Northwest over the last couple of games and made a huge impact. And yeah, sometimes you think this could have been so different, but he can learn maybe straight there and come back to Western Province after a couple of years, if that's all right.
Thank you, team. Do we have anyone online? Ongama?
Thanks, Alu. Coach, on the topic of youngsters, you have a lot of them in your team who are now coming into their age. I'm just curious, Coach, when you reflect on the journeys that these guys have had, what role do you see yourself that this is the role that I've played that has allowed these boys to mature so quickly? Your Mihlalis, your John Obed, all these guys.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is that when I'm done here in terms of this coaching role, and the guys that's going to take over has got a better chance or good chance, obviously, to inherit a blend of good youngsters that there's obviously the experience over the years, and he can just build from that. And that's for me one of the important things in terms of as a coach. Obviously, you want to win, but you also need to look at the bigger picture in terms of the longevity for your union, for Western Province, and where that can take those youngsters. They can be a big asset for years to come. And if you look after them properly and obviously guide them properly, you will get the rewards, and the union will get the rewards as well. And that's massive for me, to invest in youngsters, but also make sure that you guide them the right way going forward.
Ken?
And just lastly from me, Alu. One of you youngsters, Daniel Smith, is in that SA emerging team, and we've seen a lot of youngsters in and around the country get opportunities to play Division 1, Division 2 cricket through that team, the SA emerging. What's your comment on the existence of the team in terms of how it's going to impact the structure and the standard of cricket going forward in the country?
You're talking about Daniel Smith. Yeah, unfortunately, he's obviously in the wings of our captain. He played a couple of games last season. He made his debut like two years ago as an opening batter against the Titans. And there you could see that, I mean, there's some serious talent there that we need to take forward. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where we've got quality players in our team at the moment, and obviously they need to sit out and wait and buy their time. Unless there's an injury or you can get them in the team. But yeah, I think Daniel had a few games in the B division for the SA Emerging and did quite well. And I think that is an important area as well for them to get exposure and game time, especially when they're not playing for the union. But I think to strengthen that, for them to play in that Division 2 as well, it's massive for the future of cricket in South Africa there.
Thanks, Onama. Ken?
Thanks, Alhamdulillah. Hazrat Salih, congratulations on getting your team to the final. You mentioned last year's final losing at the Wanderers. Obviously it's very different players and different opposition, and you're playing at home. But are there any things that you learned from that final that you can take into Saturday's match?
I think it's just obviously looking back at last year's final, just better options for us and execution. I think we done ourselves injustice in terms of a certain part of that game that we lose momentum, and that cost us big time. But yeah, I think it's a big learning curve. Like I said, there's a couple of youngsters that played last season, the first outing in a one-day final. But I think we've learned from that, and we've addressed certain issues, and hopefully we can rectify that. We did some good work in this campaign, and hopefully in the final we can be better, and and keep building on what we've achieved so far.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? That's it with Western Province, guys. Hang tight. We have the NW Dragons captain, Rian Liba, coming up.
Thanks, Salih. Good luck.
Thank you.
Afternoon, everyone. Online, everywhere. Thanks.
Yeah.
Guys.
We'll start with the team as well. So,
Okay, fine. I'll just ask that it's fine. Not that you Sunday to get to the final.
Yeah, look, it's a bittersweet one. You've still got a lot of friends in the change room. Obviously, worked quite closely with the coaches over the years. So, great feeling to get the Dragons into the final, but there is a element of feel for the guys in the other change room. So yeah, not taking away from how it would have felt in terms of the Dragons getting there though.
And really, just obviously you back home to the Dragons. When you came back home, was this the intention of I'm wanting to take my own franchise for as we can go?
Yes, definitely. I think anyone entering any of the teams in this sort of league have the goal of playing in a final. For me, coming back home and sort of being put in a leadership position sooner maybe than we thought, it's obviously a great thing to sit here speaking to you guys, you know, on the eve of what should be Northwest's first division final. So yeah, for me it's quite nice to be able to be a part of it. But yeah, we're sitting here knowing that the job's not done yet.
And the first game of spot was, it seemed like that game was in the balance for a very long time until the lights switched off. And if that game doesn't really, our team might not have gone the way it won. You think that you guys actually a lot closer to them than what the 12, 16 have gone is?
Yeah, I think anyone sitting in my position would definitely say yes. I think that first game was actually quite a nice, I want to say, opener for both teams. If you think about how closely contested it was, it took a special innings from Carl in that instance to get them over the line. So yeah, we were a different team, if I can call us that, at that stage. I think we hadn't played much. We had a lot of new faces. So yeah, I think we're quietly excited looking at that game and the way it went, going into tomorrow, how it could unfold.
Yeah, obviously a lot of new faces that you mentioned. What was it, the conversation like amongst the team and coach, etc., to try and integrate everybody and build such a winning mentality so quickly?
I think credit has to sort of go straight to the signing parties at B that sort of went out looking for certain players. I think Craig spoke a lot about the character that he wants in the change room, sort of that fighter mentality that we often speak about. If you look at the way some of our games have gone, coming back from difficult positions, winning from near impossible positions in certain instances, that's exactly what he got right, and everyone that was involved in the signing process. I think that automatically makes it easier to integrate if everyone has a similar vision in mind. That being said, I think the coaching staff and a couple of the boys did a really good job in involving everyone straight away. It is difficult with a lot of new faces, but I think everyone came there with the same goal in mind and the same vision. And yeah, like I said, that definitely makes it easier to keep everyone on the same page.
And the role of captaincy, something that you've been taking for a couple of years now. How are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's fun. I think the group of guys we have get along really well. It's not difficult to manage them, if I can say it like that. We've got a lot of senior heads in terms of Sen and Cohen and Lesego, even though he might not look it by age. He's got a lot of cricket knowledge in his brain. So as a collective, we work together on the field to sort of find what works best in those situations. So for me, it's been fun. It's been an enjoyable experience, if I can call it that, throughout the campaign. Yes, there are challenges at times and you need to sort of deal with certain things along the way. But I feel like we've done that really well between myself, vice captains, and the coaching staff. We've managed certain situations and sort of tried keeping everyone with the main thing, if I can call it that.
And how difficult as the captain, being an all-rounder, he said, whether to turn to one of your bowlers to third yourself?
I think the amount of overs I've bowled this season speaks to how difficult it is. Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, you would like to bowl a bit more as an all-rounder. But the reality is that we've got options for most situations on the field. And if it doesn't require an off-spinner in those types of sort of situations, then we've got an option for it. So as badly as you, from a personal point of view, would like to bowl more, I think our whole sort of philosophy is to put the team first. And if me as a leader don't live by that, then the others can't be expected to. So the reality is that whatever the team needs on the day or in the situation, that's what comes first. And if that means I don't bowl as much as I would like to, then so be it.
this is a little bit of a topic, but I need to ask it. I mean, there's a player that you know quite well from last season. It's now playing with the Proteas, Marco Jansen. Someone that you've been involved with quite well. How impressed have you been with him and the step up? Has it surprised you how he's taken into international, particularly in the World Cup?
No, it hasn't, to be honest. I think he's had a little bit of exposure coming up or leading up to the World Cup. If you know the work that he does behind the scenes, the amount of time he spends thinking about the game, having conversations with guys to help him grow, I think you understand very quickly that it was always going to come. Everyone obviously doesn't know when exactly, but the fact that he puts in the work behind the scenes, as most guys do, speaks testament of the results that he's putting out at the moment.
Via, do you feel like you're the underdogs going into the game on Saturday?
I think the whole country feels like we're the underdogs. They've won 7 games on the bounce or 6 games on the bounce with no result in between. The reality is that we've won 4. We lost to them in the first game. So yeah, we probably are the underdogs, but we don't mind wearing that tag. And I think the way our change room sits, we enjoy a challenge and we enjoy a little bit of a fight. So we'll be up for it tomorrow or on Saturday rather.
Ken?
Thanks, Alungile. How's it been? Congratulations for getting into the final. The Dragons, that top order of yours, I think many people have been surprised how well Senokwane, Fantonda, Mikael Prince, yourself have gone. They've been a real strength of the Dragons. Is it fair, though, to say that the final, the first 10 overs batting, that first power play against the Western Province new ball, is that going to be really a key factor in the final?
Yes, I think we'd be silly to say no in this situation. Someone asked the question earlier, but the reality is that Buren and Nandre have been really good for them up top. So yeah, it's basically a strength versus strength type of thing, if I could call it that. We've certainly been very happy with our top order, just as they've been with their power play bowling. So I think again, too experienced heads opening the bowling for them, but in the same sense, some young blood, if I can call it that have been doing really well in the opposite change room. So yeah, it'll be an important sort of phase in the game for sure. But I don't think it'll be the determining factor at all.
Okay. Thank you, Ken. Do you have anyone else online? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have the NW Dragons coach, Craig Alexander, coming up. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Guys.
Squeeze the floats off.
Question short, please.
Thank you for joining us. We'll start with the team on the floor.
Full time coach that will get them to bring them to the Watika final and just personally ask that to you.
Yeah, I think it's every coach's dream to reach a final any time of their career. But for me, doing it in my first season, it's been special. I think it's a collective effort. I heard Bian speak about it as well. It's not just the management of the field, but also a lot of senior heads in our team as well that helps. And I think the union pretty much go to the union as well. A lot of good things happen there. It's still happening, which makes it quite easy for me as a coach. But yeah, it's very special. I couldn't ask for a better start. Nah, I don't think so. I think wherever I played actually for a few teams around the country, and game cricket still game cricket for me. I don't have any grudges or any bad feelings towards anyone. I just enjoy being on the cricket field, playing and hopefully contributing to a win, and nothing different to this game.
And in so many the new players coming into the squad, is it that a good thing to talk to so many great players or better to set the squad? You grow players all around the country. How hard to get that done?
Yeah, I think obviously we had 9 new changes from last year, which is quite a lot. But what made it easy for me is the character in the change room. It's exactly the character I need. Like Fian also mentioned earlier, the fighter. I really enjoy that, and kind of makes it easier, for players to then express themselves on the field. So yeah, I think it is tough. I won't say it's easy, but I think with the character having the change room kind of makes it easier as a coach to express my style of play as well.
Can you maybe give some little more insight into it? I know you said fighter, but when you went on your run of quarters and looking for your player and scouting, from a profile perspective, batting, bowling, etc., what did you look for specifically to add?
Yeah, look, I think it was evident from last year. We struggled a bit in the 4-day competition, which it's evident to see over the past few years actually. So I was looking for all-rounders, but also to strengthen the batting. I have a few senior heads in the top 5 or 6, which obviously I got. But also I had a few of them last year as well. But yeah, I think the main thing was, speaking about the character, it's just, I think Poch comes with a strong character as well, where they've been fighters over the years, and that is something that I want to keep in the union. We've always produced a lot of good players. So I just want to follow on with legacy from a fighting spirit point of view. I will answer your question.
Yeah, so obviously that can be difficult when you have 3 formats. Therefore, we see how cricket is changing all around the world. T20 games played in a specific ways. You can see in this ODI World Cup, certain teams play a certain brand, play maybe more balanced brand. And 4-day cricket is also quickening up as well. So when you do that, are you a person that believes in holistic brand of cricket, or did you go have in mind a certain brand?
I think for me as a cricketer, I've always been a attacking type of aggressive type of player, and I think from a coaching point of view, that is probably something that comes with me as a personality point of view. And I must say that what kind of made it easy for me is when sitting into conferences and meetings with Shukri Conrad and Rob Walter and the brand they want to put out there as well. So it kind of made a little more sense to me listening to them, and it kind of
it's exactly almost the same brand I'm playing, or want to play. So that made it easier for me, but it's definitely not targeted at any form of cricket. But I think it's just a mindset change, a mindset shift from where cricket was. You have to follow and keep up with the cricketing world nowadays. Things are changing, so it's just for us to just keep up with the change.
And is big match temperament something that's coachable? Like, for example, teaching people mentality and how to not be pressurized by bowling at the dead, staying in the field and switch up. Is that type of feeling coachable?
I think BMT maybe not coachable. What I must say is, those pressure moments in the game from a batting and bowling point of view is created at nets. And that is something I really try and do at nets. I put guys under pressure every single day. Never training easy. It's always going to be a pressure somewhere. And I think that's what worked for us over the past few weeks or months, starting from pre-season. It's always been pressure. And I think that's how you build players to take ownership of that big moments in games.
Thank you. And we move to our colleagues online. Ken?
Thanks, Alungile. How's it, Craig? Congratulations for getting into the final.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you're telling your team that it's just another game of cricket and the job is not done yet. But just looking bigger picture, I think when the new system came into South African cricket, a lot of people would have thought Northwest would be one of the teams that would be involved in that sort of relegation tussle. So how massive is it for you guys? First competition of the season, you're in the final, and obviously to win it would also be a huge thing for Northwest cricket and just take a lot of pressure off the rest of the season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's massive for Northwest Cricket Union. We've never been in a final. I think it's the second or third year of this system, and for Northwest to put their hand up and play in the finals, actually, it pays dividends to who we are as a union and what we can achieve. I think it means a lot to me. It means a lot to everyone, even back home. I think the guys are on their way down to Cape Town to support us. So it goes a long way. It means a lot to Potchefstroom, I can say that.
Okay. Do we have anyone else online? Going once. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this afternoon. That's it from our side.
Thanks, Alungile. Thanks, Craig. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Bye.